it hurts. And I'm too sexy for Milan, too sexy for Milan, New York and Japan.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to this week's version of Doing It with Styles. And you all know how much I love food and I love to eat, right? You can tell. So I got a really special guest here today, and her name is Lisa Maloney. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And you are what I'm going to dub you the Spicy Spud Lady.
Well, there's worse things in life.
Okay. Because you have created and you offer a series of spices for different types of foods. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what the hell got you into spices? Where'd that come from?
Oh, there's definitely a story, that's for sure.
Oh, good. I love stories.
Well, first of all, I am a nutritionist.
Okay.
And I've done a lot of work in the K through 12 industry. I'm a former food service director for 3 different school districts in Northern California. And that's really where I got the idea for my spices, because back in 2010, when the Obamas were in office, dramatic changes were made to the meal plan for K through 12 for the National School Lunch Program.
Right, because if you've ever eaten in the school cafeteria.
Well, my menus are pretty good, I must say.
I'm teasing.
I'll stack my menus up against just about anything,
right.
Actually. So one of the regulations was, and still is, and it's incrementally going down to this day, and there's supposed to be one more. We'll see what happens. But the sodium was being reduced for the kids. And then the fiber and the whole grains and the fruits and vegetables were being increased. And then the saturated fat had a cap on it too, across the board.
Okay. And they were no longer classifying ketchup as a vegetable?
No, that was 100 years ago.
I know.
I mean, we have to factor it into our menus because of the caloric and
right. And almost everything that you buy has sodium in it.
Absolutely.
I mean, I was made aware of this some years ago, and so every label I'm checking on almost everything. So
it really is
adding salt to your food.
It really is amazing.
And that I'm terrible at that. I put salt on pizza.
Well, salt in and of itself isn't bad or good. It's just if you have too little or too much.
Right.
I mean, there are a few people out there that are not consuming enough sodium, but for the most part, and this is some more research that I did too, on the American Heart Association's website and the Mayo Clinic's. They both state that 9 out of 10 Americans are consuming too much sodium.
Yeah, and
right
sugar.
Now, well, sugar too, for sure. So the limit is 3,500 milligrams per day based on a 2,000 calorie a day diet.
That's not very much.
Well, it's enough.
Yeah. No. But I mean, it's not like it's a cupful or,
no.
I mean, a couple of teaspoons, right?
Yeah, I hope that people don't eat that much salt. So regardless of what we liked or what we didn't like, these were the regulations that we needed to adhere to if we wanted to continue being a part of the National School Lunch Program. So the industry was really set on its ear for a couple of years, just trying to figure out, how to increase the whole grains and how to reduce the sodium. And that's really where I got the idea from. I thought, how can we flavor the food for the kids and still make it fun and make it exciting and make it flavorful while still adhering to the, the regulations. So one day, and this is really how I got the idea, I was at one of my school sites and they were complaining to me that the parents were dropping their kids off in front of the school in the morning and they're supposed to come into the cafeteria where we have
the kids.
Yeah. Where we have all this food set up, all this homemade food and hard-boiled eggs and string cheese and whole fruits and things of that nature that are good for them.
Right.
But my kitchen staff was watching the kids run down the street to this 7-Eleven, and they were having the guy behind the counter open up a bag of hot Cheetos, no less. And then, that phony fake cheese sauce that they put on the nachos when you go in one of those convenience stores, they were squirting that stuff all over the nachos. And then they were taking it back and eating it in the kitchen.
Oh, man.
Or eating in the cafeteria. And they would each have 3 or 4 spoons, and they would just sit there and eat these nachos and hot Cheetos and all this kind of stuff. And so, of course, my staff was very disillusioned by that. And I was too. And I thought, I'm sure that these parents have no idea what the kids are doing. It's just that there's a 7-Eleven that's right down the street.
Right.
They've got enough time before the first bell rings. So that's what some of the kids were doing. So I thought, okay, we've got a problem here, but out of chaos does come opportunity.
Sure.
And so that's what I just started thinking. How can we flavor the food and, and give it some flavor and give it some spice?
Right.
And so I just started really thinking about it. And that's how that was the brainchild for Spicy Spuds and other stuff. So what's different about my spices compared to, I would say, over 90% of the spices that you see out in the market that are custom. First and foremost, mine don't have any salt in them at all.
Okay.
So they're packed with flavor, but I figure my customers can use salt if they want. Not everybody wants salt.
Right.
And with my spices, you really don't need salt. And if you do use salt, you only need a little bit just because the spices are so flavorful.
Right.
And they're also MSG free, and they're allergen free, and they're kosher, and they're also tested for quality and
and
purity.
they're kosher.
Yeah, kosher as well.
Cool.
And then they're also sustainably grown in this country and around the world too.
Right.
Because spices come from everywhere.
Right.
It's not just in this country, because not all the growing environments are conducive for particular spices. So
Exactly. Yeah, you have weather conditions and, dry climates, wet climates and all
absolutely.
that.
So there's some that are much more conducive, for growing particular spices. So I have a co-packer, which in this industry basically means that somebody is packing them for me.
Gotcha.
So the name is mine. It's a registered trademark. And also whenever somebody wants to start working with me, they have to sign a non-disclosure agreement, because the spices in and of themselves are mine.
Right.
But they take my recipe and then they manufacture it and put it into the bottles.
Yeah, I didn't think that you did this at home.
No. If I had, one day I'm hoping that I will be able to do that and,
Right.
Just have all the spices shipped to me. But for right now, and that's very common. You see that a lot in the industry where somebody has a food product that they want to bring to market.
Right.
And they
Like Famous Amos cookies.
Do they have a co-packer too?
They used to. I mean, that's how he started in his house in I think it was South Central LA. So, nice chocolate chip cookies, and then he just grew from there. And so anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to get.
No, that's okay. Yeah. No, I actually started doing all my experiments with food and everything in my house too, hence the name Spicy Spuds. So obviously I started with potato products.
Right.
And then the reason I named it Spicy Spuds and other stuff for two reasons. One, because Spicy Spuds was already taken as a registered trademark, and other stuff I really needed to include that because my spices are good for so many different things.
Right. But I mean, potatoes, that's a great start, because you got French fries, you got mashed potatoes, you got boiled potatoes, you got baked potatoes. It's probably one of the most versatile vegetables that we eat.
Right.
And so each one of the spices, like garlic mashed potatoes, or, I like to cut up potatoes in little wedges and put some, like some oil and some, spices on it and some cheese and stuff like that. And then
that sounds like one of my recipes.
Really? Okay.
So on my recipes, you don't even have to be a customer, but I do have probably at least 50 or so recipes out there that are showcasing my spices. Sometimes
are they on your website?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. And you can download them individually yourself, and you don't even have to be a customer of mine. So my website is Spicy Spuds and other stuff, all spelled out.com.
The and is spelled out too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I have a lot of information out there too. I have, the recipes. I have descriptions of my spices. I have just a lot of information that you can click on to learn more about me, to learn more about my spices. And I also have really wonderful customers too, because there's several videos that are out on my website. I can't take any credit for them. My customers film those for me without me even asking.
That's
and so
cool.
I have my web page designer upload them when I recently had my web page upgraded and updated. So
nice.
So quite a few of those.
So you must have a good product if they're willing to do that for you and say, hey, check this out.
Well, I think so. And, and I also have a Google page that's connected to my website too. thanks to my webpage designer. And I do have, the last time I looked, I had over 30 5-star reviews. So I was really,
Wow,
really happy about that too.
that's good. Yeah.
So,
So the only place you can get these is online on your website. Is
or
that
in person, like I do
really?
some,
You
I
do
do
you
some,
deliver?
I do in-person networking.
Right. Oh, okay.
Like next month, I also wanted to let your viewers know that on the 26th of October from
Okay.
1 to 5 over at Container Park, there's going to be a downtown thrill fest. And I'm going to be one of the featured vendors over
Oh,
there.
cool.
So I do pop-up events and things of that
Right.
nature. And then I also do a lot of networking.
You'll have to keep us informed. We'll help you get the word out there when you've got one of these coming up.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
No, hey, that's why we're here. You know, so
Get the word, spread the word.
Yeah.
So yeah, so some of the uses for my spices. So I have 4 fantastic flavors.
I was just going
have
to ask you. Let's talk about these.
dessert spice, and I have chipotle spice, and I have tangy garlic onion and smoky barbecue.
Okay, and so you know all of these just by looking at them on the back, because I see that the labels are over here, so I couldn't tell you which one's which.
Well, there is a small.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can see it.
I
It's
can't
pretty-
see that.
it's
Yeah.
pretty small. So between all 4 of my spices, they're appropriate for, of course, potatoes,
Right.
pasta, rice dishes, vegetables, fruits, meat, any type of meat, whether it's poultry, fish, beef, pork.
Okay,
Even
so
beans
would
as
these
well.
would you put these on before or after cooking?
You have a choice.
Oh, okay.
And even though I do have quite a few recipes out on my website, you really don't even need a recipe to use them.
Okay.
Because one of the other things that I've discovered in interviewing a lot of my customers and just a lot of people in general is that there's a lot of people that have hesitation when it comes to cooking in the kitchen. They just don't feel comfortable. So that's something that I'm really kind of focusing on and helping people with that.
Cool.
And so I'm letting people know that you really don't even need a recipe. And I'll give you a perfect example. This is one of my favorite ways of using my spices. So like you take any vegetable that you like, whether it's potatoes, carrots, zucchini, whatever the case may be, and then cut it up, or you can even buy it already cut up in a bag. And sometimes I do too, like if it's squash or something like that, that's kind of a hard vegetable.
Or like those little mini carrots.
Yeah, those are perfect. Yeah. So all you have to do, and I think that roasted vegetables are so good because it really helps to bring out the flavor in them. So you just coat whatever vegetable it is that you like, put them in a little bit of olive oil, and then just put them in the oven. And you can either put the spicy spuds on and other stuff on before you put them in the oven, or you could actually wait until you take them out and then just put the spices on afterwards, whatever tickles your fancy.
Cool.
And then
so you've got 4 different spices here. Are they like these are for fish, these are for beef, these are for vegetables, or can you mix and match? Or?
No, that's a great question. Thank you for asking. A lot of my customers will actually use the chipotle spice and the tangy garlic onion together, and they'll use the smoky barbecue and the tangy garlic onion
now
together.
is the chipotle, is this a spicy spice? In other words,
It's spicier. It does have a kick to it.
Okay, it has a little bit of a kick to it.
Yes.
And what about the barbecue?
No, the barbecue does not. It tastes more like kind of like a barbecue potato chip.
Oh, okay.
Like a Lay's potato chip.
Right.
So it's not overly, it's flavorful, but it's not spicy.
Okay, this would be my favorite, the garlic and onion.
The tangy garlic onion.
Yeah.
Like I said, it goes really well with these 2 go together really well, and these 2 go together
Smoky
really
barbecue,
well.
okay, yeah.
And I would say for these 3, John, that they work the best for vegetables and the potatoes, and then any type of meat, whether it's, and any of them could work well with
because
meat,
I'm
poultry,
thinking
fish.
about, hey, this might be nice on, like a ham sandwich with sliced tomatoes and sprinkle a little bit of this stuff on.
And the other thing that you can do too that's really easy that helps to flavor it up is you can actually add them to mayonnaise and ketchup.
Oh, really?
It's like if you have, and in fact, I have a recipe on my website for that too, where you add, you take the chipotle spice and let's see if I can remember the recipe here. You take mayonnaise, lime juice, a little bit of ketchup, and the chipotle spice. I think that's it. I hope I'm not missing anything. And then you can just keep thinning it out to where it's either a salad dressing,
Right.
or if you leave it a little bit thicker, you could, spread it on a sandwich or something like that. And then even for the
make a paste out of it.
yeah.
Kind of.
Or just like a spread.
Right. Yeah.
And then for like the smoky barbecue, this one would be really good mixed in ketchup too.
Yeah. Okay.
Or the chipotle spice.
Yeah.
So they're very, very versatile, and they're excellent for so many different things. And I have to also give my customers a lot of credit too, because they've given me ideas far beyond anything.
Oh yeah, you couldn't possibly think of all the combinations.
And I would have to say that dessert spice is the one where I've gotten the most feedback from.
Right.
So I'm not a coffee drinker. I'm a tea girl. Yeah. So dessert spice is actually really good in your coffee.
Really? What is the sugar or carbohydrate content on this?
It's very low.
Is it?
Now this is the one that has the most in it, just because it's dessert spice. But basically, it's
no fat, no sodium,
it's cocoa.
1 gram. God, that's nothing.
Yeah. So I mean, it's such a negligible amount compared to the things that we're eating with the sodium and the sugar.
Yeah.
I mean, my spices are not adding any of that.
I'm a big coffee drinker, and I'm trying to cut out sugar and kind of eat a little bit healthier. And so I'm thinking this might be a good,
I've got some great ideas for you.
Okay.
So the first one
I love great ideas.
So dessert spice is great because first of all, it has cocoa and it has cinnamon in it. It has nutmeg, it has allspice, and it has sugar.
Oh.
So it's a fantastic, and it's a really nice.
Okay, this
blend.
is mine.
It is for sale, by the way.
Don't worry.
So you can put it in your coffee, and
right.
it gives it a great flavor. And then one of the areas that I like to use it for a really simple but elegant dessert is I have this really healthy whipped cream. And I know that sounds kind of like an oxymoron, but it really isn't. I use this stuff called Cocoa Whip. And it's a really healthy version of, it's kind of like Cool Whip.
Cocoa Whip?
It's called Cocoa Whip, and it's much healthier than Cool Whip.
Where do you get it?
There's actually a lot of places that carry it now. I would say most grocery stores have it.
Really?
Yeah, and it's in the freezer section, right where they have the Cool Whip.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
Cocoa Whip is sodium free and gluten free and organic, and it's made with coconut oil. I know I'm giving them a free plug here, but that's okay. So what I do is I take my dessert spice and I actually put the dessert spice in the Cocoa Whip.
Ooh.
And then you take like a little dessert bowl and you put it in the bottom, like you kind of put like spread it out a little bit, and then you can put whatever type of fresh fruit you want, whether it's strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, or do like a mixture.
Right.
And then what you do is you sprinkle a little bit more dessert spice on top, and it's very beautiful, very elegant, very easy. It's on my website too. That's one of my recipes on there.
Yeah, I'm going to be spending time on your website.
So like I said, I'm really trying to impress upon people how easy it is to use spicy spuds and other stuff. You don't have to have a long drawn out recipe.
Right.
you just shake, put some in your coffee. And
I found that sometimes the simplest is the best. And well, not all of us, but a lot of us like to go to like Subway or something like that and get the sub sandwiches. And I was thinking one day, what is it about the sub sandwich? Because I make it at home and it's not the same. It doesn't taste right. And I realized it's the vinegar and oil that they put on it.
Yeah.
And so I went to the store and bought some of the vinegar and oil dressing. And, then I'll put some of that on the sandwich and it's like, oh, okay. Hey, this is good.
Well, you can do a vinegar and you can do a
vinaigrette. I was thinking that.
All it takes, John, is vinegar. And the type of vinegar I like to use a lot of times is seasoned rice vinegar.
Rice vinegar?
But you can basically use any kind of vinegar that you want. And then I usually use organic olive oil that's cold pressed.
Right.
And, extra virgin and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And then I might put like a little bit of sugar in there or a little bit of salt, like maybe a half a teaspoon or so of each. And you've got a wonderful vinaigrette.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, it's fantastic.
Ooh.
But getting back to the dessert spice.
Garlic bread.
Yeah, you could. Yeah. Garlic bread. There's 101 uses for my spices.
Okay.
It's hard to find a food product that you can't use at least one of my spices on, is what I usually tell people. You bring the vibe, we bring the spice.
I like that.
So getting back to dessert spice. So another one that you can use for dessert spice is putting on top of fresh fruit. just by itself, even without
Yeah.
the whipped cream.
I could see that.
And then it's also really good on top of oatmeal.
Ooh,
And it's really good on top of yogurt.
okay.
And then you had mentioned that you're
And that
trying
way
to
you
cut,
get the probiotic and the, yeah, okay.
yeah, and much less sugar.
Yeah,
And then another great way to utilize my spices is on top of pancakes or waffles or French toast,
ooh,
because you can do it without the syrup.
yeah,
Because what I've found is that, and I've done this experiment myself. So you take like a little pat of butter
Right.
on one of the 3 items, and then you put the dessert spice on top, like maybe a teaspoon or however much you want, and then you
Right.
can put some fresh fruit on it, and then it looks good, it smells good, it tastes good.
I'm
and you're
getting
eating
so hungry.
a fraction of the sugar that you would normally be eating, because I'll be the first to tell you, I love, pancake syrup, especially the real stuff, like the maple syrup. But even for a quarter of a cup, it's like 210 calories.
Wow.
And then there's a lot of carbohydrates in there as
Yeah.
well. So dessert spice is a great way of helping people to cut back,
Cool.
eliminate the sodium and to cut
I think
back on the
just
sugar.
for the coffee alone, I think would be worth it to me.
Yeah. If you're a coffee drinker,
Yeah.
yes. Like I said, I'm a tea girl, so I never,
Even in tea.
well, I don't know
Well,
about
you're
that.
an English tea person, huh?
Well, not necessarily. I try to get I try to use green tea.
Sorry, folks.
So anyhow, so is there anything am I missing anything for dessert spice? I think I said the
Ice cream.
fruits. Yeah, it would be good on
I love
ice
ice
cream.
cream,
But
yeah.
you said you were trying to cut back.
No,
on
no.
sugar,
I'm it's for them.
That's true. That's
It's for all
true.
those people that try to put on a few pounds, right? You
And
get
with-
some cherry vanilla ice cream.
And with the holidays coming up too, this is a fantastic. These make fantastic gifts, and they make fantastic corporate gifts.
Oh, wow.
And
yeah.
then just for your own personal baking and everything, of course, anything chocolate is
Yeah.
going to be great for, with dessert spice. So I have a chocolate brownie pie recipe. I make really good pumpkin bread. And whenever I do
Ooh.
my pop-up events, oftentimes I'll bring some of my pumpkin bread with
This
me
is the time
too.
of the year for it.
Yes.
Yep.
But it's also good in other types
Yeah.
of sweet breads as well. I have a banana cake that has like a chocolate frosting that's really good with dessert spice. So there's actually quite a few recipes on my website that, that are great ideas.
Are all of the recipes yours, or do
Oh,
you have
yes.
people sending in?
No,
ideas or
I've done
something?
them all, and it was a labor of love, I do have to tell you, because, well, since I'm a nutritionist by trade, I took the time to purchase software that other professionals
Right.
utilize, so I can actually do the nutrition analysis on every single recipe per serving.
That's great.
So I took the pictures of the food. I come up with the concept. I go online and I look at, Pinterest, and I still have old cookbooks and stuff. I'm kind of old fashioned. I still have
Yeah.
some old cookbooks, and I just come up with concepts and ideas. And then I play around in the kitchen, and then I have like the list of ingredients, and then I have the steps and everything. And then I have do the nutrition analysis. And then when I make the finished product, I take the pictures too.
Yeah.
So, and you'll see those when you go out on my website.
Okay.
So every picture, these are not stock photos. These are Lisa Maloney photos.
Okay.
I have them all on my camera to
Great,
prove it.
great.
So, and then for the chipotle spice, like I said, they're between all 3 of these. These are all 3 great.
I bet this would be great to add to chili.
Yes, and I have a chili recipe
Okay. I gotta
out
check
there
that out.
as well. And sometimes it's hard for me to kind of narrow it down and figure out which one I want to use, because when I'm making the chili, I like it with the smoky barbecue, but I like it with the chipotle too,
Yeah.
and the tangy garlic onion.
Okay.
And there's a lot of soup recipes that are out there too.
Oh, I love that. Listen, I love one dish meals.
Yes.
Soups or stews or casseroles or stuff like that. So
Well, I grew up
Yeah.
on that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
me too.
I'm from back east in Ohio, and we grew up on things
where
like
at?
Canton, Ohio.
Oh, okay. I got all of my family on my mother's side is from Zanesville.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to Zanesville before. It's
Yep.
not that close to Canton, but I've definitely been there before.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, that's okay.
No. It's a great place. I just make fun of it because of the family. So
Yeah. No, it's definitely a different world back there,
Yeah.
and people eat a lot
but
differently.
and that's it.
than
And
they
I was
do
born in New
here,
York, so we moved to California when I was young, but I remember that from back east. Everybody cooked, everybody baked, all the time. Somebody was always baking something or cooking something. And my dad was a a cook and a baker in the Air Force. He was a lifer in the Air Force.
Wow.
And my mother owned 3 or 4 restaurants while I was growing up. So I grew up in that environment of cooking and,
So your mother ran all those restaurants?
not
herself?
all at the same time.
Oh.
We had one in New York and 3 in LA in Hollywood. So, and not
Different times.
Yeah, at different times. So, yeah, I grew up around cooking. And in fact, if she's not watching, I taught my ex-wife to cook. So,
Oh, really?
yeah, she really had almost no knowledge of cooking when we got married. So
what are your favorite things to cook?
like I said, I like the one dish meals. I like a good stew, where you just kind of throw a little bit of everything in there, or a casserole.
I would say for a stew, these two.
Yeah,
are your
I'm
best bet.
I'm already it's
the
clicking in the head.
Yeah, I like stew too, and those are the kind of things like tuna casserole. And did you ever have stuffed peppers before?
Oh
too?
yeah, absolutely.
Like with the rice and the meat and the
You
tomato
bet. Yeah.
sauce and yeah.
Yeah, that was
Those are
a regular
things.
deal. So
Yeah, those are the kind of things that people eat
and
back east.
and it's just sometimes it's just the simple things that you know what, I want to try this, and it turns out to be, oh, okay, this is one of my favorites now. So the thing that I like about this is um there's a ton of spices out there. I mean, the old spice racks, right? You had all of this nutmeg and this and, cayenne and all that stuff. And I can see this as more of a conglomerate of, here's a couple of different spices and you can use this instead of using this, and this. Does that make sense?
Yes, that's what I was wanting to do as well. Because there's very few other spices that I really use besides my own.
Right. Well, it looks like you've got all the bases covered here, and it pretty much, if you want things a little spicy, you want to, I'm a big onion garlic fan. I was doing a couple of projects in Hawaii, and I used to buy the garlic and onion macadamia nuts.
Oh, I've had those before.
Oh, yeah, those were really good. I used to buy, like 8 or 10 bags and bring them home with me. So
now I haven't tried them on nuts, but I think that any of these would be good.
Yeah.
Dessert spice on macadamia nuts. You'd probably have to have a little bit of oil and then kind of like roll them in the oil and maybe roast them or something.
Yeah.
You've given me another idea. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. No, that's actually a great idea. I think I'm going to try that because I like nuts too.
Well, and like bananas Foster.
Yes.
So there you go. So
like a flambe.
Yeah. Sorry, we got sidetracked there.
Oh, shoot.
But as you know, that's what happens here.
Yes. So yeah, that was definitely my idea.
Which one is your favorite?
People ask me that, and I mean, I look at these as my babies. I mean, they're like, it really is. I mean, when you put your heart and your soul into something that you just, it's hard to decide.
How long have you actually been doing this? I mean, since you came out with here's the Spicy Spuds.
It'll be 3 years, the end of January.
Really? That's all?
Yeah. So not too long. Yeah.
So this is pretty new stuff, folks.
Hot off the press.
Right. And give me a couple of weeks and you'll get my reviews. You know that. So.
Well, and the other thing I wanted to mention about my spices too is that they're apropos for home cooks all the way to chefs.
Yeah.
Because I know that chefs have their own way of doing everything.
Right.
They have their own recipes. I'm not here to take away anything from anyone. What I'm here to do is to enhance what you're already doing.
Okay, now this is kind of a personal question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. How many times have you gone into a restaurant with some of this in your purse?
Never. Okay. I've never done that before.
You wouldn't do that? Okay.
No. But I really don't eat out that much, though. I do cook at home a lot.
Okay.
So
that's no, but that's good. I can just see me.
I hadn't thought of that, but yeah.
Well, I mean, I've seen people do other things, bring other things to a restaurant.
Like what?
Well, I don't know. It's like salad dressing.
Oh, okay.
That was one instance I remembered. They didn't like that, and they, she opened her purse and she's got, I forget, it was like a ranch dressing or something like that she brought for her salad. So.
I haven't thought of that, but I don't know. Maybe I should.
Or like on hard-boiled eggs or that little spicy.
Mm-hmm.
That would be pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, that is another thing that my spices are good for. I've had my customers tell me, like, when they cook different eggs, like scrambled eggs or over easy
Right.
or whatever. the
Ooh,
case
egg
may-
salad,
Yeah, I put
deviled
it,
eggs.
Yeah,
Ooh, yeah.
yeah, I put that. Now for me, I use the tangy garlic onion for that.
I'm sorry, I got to go. I'm really hungry. I'm
But I've had my customers tell me that they like chipotle on the eggs too.
Yeah.
And it helps to, pick up the
I mean,
flavor.
when you say this has a little bit of a kick, is that a little bit, or does it? I mean, is it?
No, I mean,
like,
it definitely
That's
has.
some spicy meatball.
No, I mean, it is. It definitely has a kick to it, but it's not going to bowl you over
Okay.
because I have other things in there to
Gotcha.
help balance out the flavor.
Okay. So it's just a little tangy, a little spicy, just enough so that
Yeah.
you can say, oh,
Yeah,
I can taste
yeah.
that. Okay.
And I got the idea from, wanting to flavor the food for the kids,
Well,
so-
yeah, that makes sense because I hate. I guess maybe I'm a purist. Like I don't use. I won't eat ketchup with French fries because I like the French fries. And
I do. I like ketchup.
And if you dip them in ketchup, then all you're tasting is the ketchup for me. So, something that has just a little bit of a hint or.
You would absolutely love my spicy spuds on French fries.
Okay.
They are the bomb. And you can even bake them, like if you're trying to do it a little bit healthier,
Right.
and you can put like a little bit of pan spray or something on it afterwards.
What about
if you don't want to fry them?
air fryers?
Yes, I make mine in an air fryer as well.
Yeah,
And then
okay.
you can sprinkle it on.
Okay.
But you have to have something to help it adhere to it a little bit.
Right.
So if you're not going to fry them, either pan fry them or deep fry them, you can definitely do them in the oven or the
air fryer.
The air fryer.
You put a few drops of oil or something, vegetable oil or something in the
Yeah,
bottom.
you could do that, or you could use the pan spray.
The pan spray, okay.
It helps the French fries to adhere to it.
Gotcha.
But I actually have another special recipe that I created with actual real potatoes, like
Okay.
raw potatoes. And hopefully I can remember this recipe too. You take cornstarch and water and you mix it together.
Okay.
And it's almost like a slurry. And you mix all the potatoes in there, and then you have a little bit of oil on the baking sheet, and then you bake them on one side, and then you do have to turn them over.
Right.
And then you could add the spicy spuds to it, or you could just put it in the ketchup and flavor the ketchup. But I actually did that, and it does help them to crisp up, having that cornstarch on there.
Yeah, that's
cornstarch
you
mixture.
bring up a good point because you could add this to the ketchup or mayonnaise, like you said before, or something like that to give a little.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just depending on the kind of finished product that you want to have.
Right.
Another thing that they're really good in too, because this is a really bland food, is beans and then also corn.
Really?
It's like if you were to take like an ear of corn and then you have like a little bit of butter on it, you could, sprinkle on the chipotle or sprinkle on the smoky barbecue, and then it gives it like a nice look too.
Yeah.
And then for beans too, because they're a very bland food.
How come you don't weigh 600 pounds?
Well, I try to
because
exercise.
They're nutritional, right?
Well, yeah, and I try to exercise a lot,
Yeah.
and keep my portions under control.
I understand.
Here.
Yeah.
I've given it my best shot.
And you've done well, so thank you. But I was just thinking, man, I'd be out of control. Because I like
welcome your ideas.
You're
already giving me some.
Yeah,
you're already giving me
some.
some ideas that I haven't thought of, and that's what I'm hoping is that people are gonna, try my spices. They're gonna enjoy them. They're gonna give me feedback and give me more ideas of, creating additional recipes.
Yeah, my son loves to cook too, so I'm sure he's gonna have a ball with these as well. So.
You know what I'm trying to do too, John, is to
What are you trying to do?
I am trying to do like a cooking demonstration where I have like 4 different things, like one dish and preferably for the holidays.
Right.
And I thought I had it all hot wired here, and I love to shop at Natural Grocers.
Right.
And they have guests come in and they do, they do cooking demonstrations.
Right.
But they said because my spices are actually not in their grocery store right now, working on that.
Yeah.
And there was a lady that has these cooking pans and everything, and she was going to cook their food with my spices in her pans. I thought it was a match made in heaven, because it would give everybody exposure, and it gives customers fun and ideas for the holidays.
You know what?
So if you or your customers know of anybody that would like to do a holiday show,
what
like
about
a pre-holiday show,
something like Costco or Sam's Club? Because they have those food stuff in there, but they also have, the guy that'll
You
come
have to
in
have your products in there. So it would have to be at like a private location or,
oh, okay.
And it would have to be somebody that's willing to provide the food, and then I'll come over and donate my time and my spices to make
Right.
food, make holiday
If you could do like a
foods.
monthly kind of
Well,
yeah,
I just want to get the ball rolling, and I thought this would be a great time of year to do it,
Yeah.
because if I could do it like by the beginning of November, then we have, Thanksgiving and Christmas and
Ooh.
Hanukkah and all the,
ooh, yeah, you give
all
me
the
some more
holidays,
ideas.
yeah, coming up that people could utilize my spices for.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, so this would be good in making gravies or sauces as well.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Definitely good. Yeah, definitely good in sauces for
Cool.
sure. So my spices are ideal for, I started to say a little while ago, they're ideal for home cooks. They're ideal for people who own restaurants, catering companies, chefs, schools.
So you
anywhere
don't,
they
do you
eat,
have
really.
do you have any connections with the school district here? Yeah.
I do know of the person that does all the menus and everything, and he's
Okay.
kind of explained the process to me, but they have mostly prepackaged foods here, so they
Yeah.
don't really have.
We have to change that.
Yes. So, and I am trying to get the word out there to school districts. I'm putting more things out there in regard to school food products, and I'm going to be sending out emails to individual food service directors to let them know
Okay.
what I have available. Because some school districts do scratch items, some do what's called quick scratch items, where they take, like, let's say they take a bun, and then they'll take a chicken patty, and
Right.
then they'll take, then they can make like the sauce or the aioli with spicy spuds and put it on there.
Right.
And then the kids can put their own lettuce and
Right.
tomato on there. So that would be called quick scratch.
Okay.
And then you have prepackaged. So if you have prepackaged, kids would have the opportunity, or restaurants or whoever, to actually use, be at a flavor station. Because most of the schools, regardless, they're going to have like the ketchup, the mayonnaise, the mustard out there. So they could also have the spicy spuds and other stuff too at a flavor station.
Right. There's a place here in town called the Composer Room. It's over on, I don't know how familiar you are with the area, but over on Sahara, there's a place, it used to be called the Commercial Center. And it was a big thriving commercial center, kind of went down the tubes, and now it's coming back up. But it's like a club over there, nightclub, a bar, and they serve food there as well. And yeah, you should go talk to them. I'll get you some contact info.
No, that would be great. I would appreciate that.
Yeah, because we're doing a show there. We did one last month, and we're doing one of my other shows. I have a show called Three Vegas, and it is an astrologer, a psychic medium, and a tarot card reader. And you call in, and you get to ask one question, and then each one of them answers it from their perspective. And so we were asked to do a live show over at the Composer Room. So I know who the owner and the manager is there. And so they serve food. Some of it's good. Some of it could use a little help. Sorry, guys.
So you're thinking that they might be interested in
this would be
like
something that you could go in,
like pre-holiday cooking show.
Yeah, you could do like a demonstration or something like that, and get them to use your product in their restaurant there.
Oh, okay.
See what I mean?
Yeah, the deals that I'm always looking for, in all honesty, is it a good deal for them? Is it a good deal for me? Is it a good deal for the customers?
Absolutely right.
That's what I'm always looking for.
Right.
For sure.
And those are the best kind of deals, because
everybody wins.
Exactly.
Yes.
And if it's, one person's winning and one person's not, it doesn't last long. And but
Right.
if both people are benefiting and they can see the value in it, then you have a winner.
Well, I try to add as much value as I possibly can, John, and just to let you and your viewers know, if for any 4 bottles that somebody buys, and it doesn't have to be the exact set, it could be any combination.
Right.
I give people $1 off of each bottle.
Okay.
There's no sales tax whatsoever. I have
that's nice.
all the recipes and everything out there for people to use on my, on my website.
And so they can purchase all of this on the website, right?
Yes. And then the other thing I wanted to mention too is that I have special pricing for all only for Las Vegas, Henderson, and Boulder City.
Okay.
Normally, I have a flat rate of shipping. I can ship anywhere in the country. I've shipped as far away as Alaska.
Okay.
So I charge a very nominal fee. I can ship up to 4 bottles for $10.95.
Oh, that's
Why I lose a little bit of
damn
money
good.
on that, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm kind of, splitting it with my customers. But for locals, it's only $5.95 because
Oh,
it doesn't
wow.
have to go as far. So I don't want to charge them,
Right.
the full price.
Yeah.
So, and I'm certainly not here to make any money on shipping. In fact, like I said, a lot of times I lose a little bit of money, but I want to get the spices in people's hands, and I want
Exactly.
to get them there as quickly as possible, and let people know that I'm out here and what I have to offer.
Cool. Well, this is awesome. Is there anything else that we didn't cover that you want to make sure the word gets out there?
I don't think so. Did you have any other burning questions that you didn't ask?
I have thousands of them.
Uh-oh.
But I'll ask them off the air. Okay. Hey, guys, thank you very much for tuning in again this week. We really appreciate your support here on Doing It with Styles and also all the other shows that we have here at the station. And for all of those people who don't watch, you missed out again. And like I say, if you're going to do it with Styles. Thanks.